Don't panic. Yeah. Don't panic. Yeah. Don't panic. Don't do it, man. Come on, command. Hey yo, Hacky Sack, liberal college rap. We don't fuck with that. My flow is like a snub nose, no hammer, so it won't get.
You guys worked together in the past, but you didn't do a full project. Did Scorsese bring you guys together to do a full album?
Griff, go jump in first on that one.
I think I would say yes. Because I mean, Z and I have been cool for a really long time now. But as far as collaborating, it was always kind of just a real casual process. And like Scorsese was like once I linked up with him and was doing a full project, then all of a sudden like the quantity of stuff that I was doing with Zilla just like multiplied significantly. I think it was just because like I always say like Scorsese like really like pushed me like in terms of like finishing shit. Like my output has always been decent. Like I always make a lot of beats when I can, but like the follow through is where he really helps me and like putting stuff out. And I think like game recognized game, like Zilla's always been such a hardworking and thorough dude with all of his projects that I think once I leveled up, I was at the Zilla Rocca level and we were ready to get busy.
Yeah, we've been doing shit since like 05, 06. From MySpace, like shows and remixes and one-offs, and it was just like it just never occurred to me to do a whole record with Griff, even after he and Scorsese linked up. Because by that point I felt like when he linked up with Scorsese, I was like, oh, like that's gonna be their thing, that they're gonna be a tandem, and they'll pump out records every year together. And I'll do verses or link them up with people if they ask. I would love to do that, but I felt like that was when Insubordinate started. To Griff's point, I felt like they were hitting each other's stride at the right time, and discovering what it would be, and then seeing the reaction from people, and then everybody getting excited. So I was like, oh, like that's their shit. I don't want to. I'm like that way. That's when I was telling them about like Deion Sanders. Like when I was a kid, I had a friend that was like all about Deion Sanders. He wore the fucking bandana. He wore 21 in baseball and football. He did he did everything in the world. So I was always like, oh, I can't like Deion. Like that's your guy. Like I think he's awesome, but I can't rock his shit or anything. And now I'm like, yo, I want a fucking Deion Sanders 21 Falcons jersey. Like I want to get my own shit. I'm like, why did I never do that? Because it's like that was his thing in my mind. So it was kind of like the same way when I looked at Griff and Scorsese. It was like that's what they're gonna do. And then once Shell's passed, we just kind of were like, yo, like what would be a dope move to go forward, and also for us to finally make that happen. Like it. I don't think it would have happened honestly if Shells didn't pass, but in his wake, it was like, let's do something and incorporate him that is dope, that he would like, that we like, and is in the spirit of what he and Griff started. So I think that's kind of how it all played out, because it was never a planned thing. It wasn't like, oh, in 2023 we're gonna do this record. We didn't say that, like in 2020 or 2021. So it all kind of came to pass, and I'm grateful for it.
The album, it kind of has an unconventional sound to me. It's not typical in any way. Was there an intentional effort to go for a certain sound with Stacking Chips?
You want to start?
Oh, sure. I would say, because I know what I like about Griff's production, again, going back almost 20 years, is like Griff can do any style. He can do like grimy loop shit. He can do like turn up club shit, like Baltimore club. Like he can do trap. I mean, really. So for me, it was more like early on was like, what am I gonna choose from him that's different than what has been released and that people know? And then on top of that, like what is making me excited to rap? So when I work with any producer, it's like I can go through a bunch of beats, but like the ones that make me stop, like, okay, this is it. I got to write to this now. Like, this is the type of joint. It has to be rappable. You know what I mean? So there was either other ones I liked and put aside, but they were kind of like complete pieces on their own. And they were kind of like clubby joints and like jiggy joints or like grimy joints. But I think like with this one, it was more like, once they were all put together, all the beats, it was like, however you want to describe it, it's like big speakers. It's car music, like this is like, to me, more in the lanes of like Currency, Jet Life, Cool Kids, me and Griff Love French Montana, like Coke Rap, all that shit, like, like that Max B, like that style, even though we're, underground guys, it's like, I've seen Griff perform he was wild when he was young. You know what I mean? Like it made sense though, and him having the Chicago background, and I imagine like there's a heavy house background. He's also a punk guy. And these are things that are not like, that are inherently in my musical DNA in Philly and what I like. So I was always fascinated by it. And I felt like the ones we had on there and what came out is very much like, to me, it's like a Griff showcase. Like I like a beat like Don't Panic sounds nothing like other beats on the record. You know what I mean? But it's not like a weird left turn where you're like, huh, what? Why is that on there? I think they all kind of fit into the same space to show like, here's his full sonic arsenal. So that's kind of how I kind of looked at it.
Okay. Love is Doomed. It's a different song musically and lyrically. Griff, how did you come up with the beat? And Zilla, how did you decide to write about Doom's Red Bull interview? And is it based on a true story?
So the beat I made, I'm pretty sure that beat is like the oldest beat on the album, as far as like, so like, we were saying like Z and I go back to like 2005. So I think I made that beat in probably like 2009, and I straight up made it after I heard the song that I sampled at a grocery store. And I made a note immediately, and I went home and flipped it. And
that Pathmark shit, bro, bangers.
Yeah, exactly.
Bangers.
But yeah, then it just sat there for who knows how long, and then Z gobbled it up for this project.
Yeah, I lucked out because when he sent it, I was like, that's the type of beat I'll pick that no one else in our squad would pick. Like the Jerry Curl, like R&B, like, to me, like a AZ would be on that record, or Raekwon. Like they would pick that type of shit, or like 95 Escobar. He would pick that. And I love when those guys take those joints, because I've never had that type of beat to me. And so the beat was so wild. I was like, I can either approach it like Raekwon and AZ, like just talking mad flies, saying slick shit. And then I was just going through my recorder app on my phone, and I'll go through that because I write all my songs that way. And I just found this note that I put in there. It's doing the whole thing. I was singing the hook. I was talking about Doom. I had all that shit, like, and I just forgot I had it in there from like 2 years ago. And I think I did it originally. It was a Small Pro beat that I originally had it on. And so when I went through it, I was like, yo, like, this is fucking hilarious. Like, this would work so well with this beat from this guy. Like, this Love is Doom shit. And the Love is Doom story was mega real. Like, that's like the funniest thing when I make albums is I'll go into it being like, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. I don't know how I got myself into this. This is not even going to be that good. Like, why did I agree to do this shit? And then in the process of making it over the course of a year or so, I'll be zoning out, and all these weird memories and things will start rushing to your brain. And that was a real story. Like, that was probably 2000, whatever year that was that Doom came out, 2012, 13 or something like that. But that was real. That was a very real thing. It was my ex-girlfriend, and that all happened. Like, that was and when I make songs like that, I try to make it as highly specific as possible, because that's specific to me. And I feel like since we put that song out, so many people have gotten at me like, yo, this is the most relatable rap song I've ever heard. Or like, this is my doom shit. Like, this is me watching that Chairman Mao. Like, I was amped all day to watch this guy sit on the couch. And so when we made it, I was like, man, I don't know if he's gonna like this. When I sent him a demo, I'm like, I don't know, man. And if he doesn't, I'm like, oh, I was just joking. Like, I was just a joke. That's not a real song. Ha ha ha.
No, I was just playing.
Yeah, and then he was like, "Oh shit!" And then I was like, "So like even the album version is like me doing a demo. Like I wasn't even serious. I was just doing it like, oh, this will be funny, just to lay it down, just to see what it sounds like." And that's the version that's on the album. It's like the first take I did. So yeah, that's 100%. Every fucking part of that song is real. Every lyric, which is hilarious to me. But
That
people love
includes
it.
the guy that played the banjo.
Yeah, because it was all like these fucking hipster assholes, man. She had some garbage. I see that was a red flag. I didn't like any of her friends from Jump
Yeah.
Street. Didn't like them. Didn't care for them at all. You know what I mean? And as I was dating her more and more, I'm like, man, I was like, yo, why are all your friends like rude as shit? You know what I mean? Like they're rude to you. Like I don't really like these people, man. They're just and you know, they were very like selfish, and then she ended up being like unbelievably selfish. So I was like, well, there you go. And that's why I broke up with her. So I was like, this ain't gonna work out. So, but right after her, I met my wife. So that well, me and my wife started dating. We knew each other. So all's well that ends well.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. The song Belly, you guys used the Cypress Hill joint. Why'd you decide to flip that beat?
Yeah, why'd you decide to do that?
There was some beat that I had sent you that was kind of in that vein. Like there's a lot of beats on the album that are like flipped rap classics, like stuff that, 10, 12 years ago, I would have never dreamed of sampling, but I don't know. At some point I crossed the threshold where it's not off limits anymore for me.
30 years old.
Yeah, exactly. It would literally be on the oldies station. Like that makes it their game, right? But at some point during the process, there was a beat like that. I don't think it was that one, but Z was just like, yo, this is a great idea. Like take classic, like dusty boom bap rap songs or like mid-90s rap songs and flip them with like a modern, like almost like trap bounce to it. So I was just like, I took that and ran with it. I made probably 20 beats off of that concept, just flipping like that, flipping Outcast joints.
LP.
Some of them became interludes on the album, like that we didn't use the beats, like the flip at the end of Look Over Your Shoulder. And I think what is the other one at the end of 915?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I got really excited about that idea and just like went to town making beats like that.
Yeah, it's like it's our time to fuck with those songs now. You know what I mean? It's like they in the 90s everyone was hitting the 70s. You know what I mean? So it's like we have that clearance now to just take that shit and just go crazy with it and have fun. And it's like when you do that type of record, it's like a cheat code in a way because you know it works. But again, it's like everyone that was taking the 70s shit in the 90s like knew that was gonna hit. It's like that was hitting my whole life growing up hearing it at the block party in my parents' house and whatever. So now I'm gonna take it and then I'm gonna run with it and then be golden. So I feel like it's just our time to take those. Who knows who loves them? We get it. You know what I mean? It's not like we're like 22 discovered on Spotify being like, ooh, look at this old shit I'm gonna sample. It's like I used to bang that Cypress Hill tape crazily. Like that's my favorite Cypress Hill album, hands down, Black Sunday. So I'm all about it. Like that, and that whole album is like in crazy bass lines. So
was that Black? That was the first album, wasn't it?
That's the second album. It has like Insane in the Brain, shit going down, all that.
Huh. I thought it was off the first album. Okay.
Nah, man.
You mentioned Look Over Your Shoulder. That's my favorite joint on the album.
Yes.
I love the dual exhaust part. How
the
much
car sound was Zilla's idea.
Okay. Perfect. How much of your music do you freestyle when you're recording?
I go about recording a few ways. So usually what I'll do is, like I said, I write. I can't like sit and write anymore. Like that's out. So I have to walk around or drive somewhere. Like I don't get ideas anymore just sitting. So I'll drive and record on my phone or take a walk and record things in my phone. And then when I go to record it, I'll know the bars from repeating it from the top and building a verse. When I go to record, then I'll just write it all down. So just I have it as a reference to kind of look at it. So I'll do that. And then sometimes what I'll do is I'll either have the whole song written, first in my head, and then I'll just annotate it, or I'll have like 70% of a record done, and I'm like, yo, I just need to record this today. I just want to do some shit. So I'll start recording it knowing it's not done. And I'll be like, okay, but what can happen while I'm recording it? Maybe I'll think of something funny, or something will happen during the day, or I'll get a funny text, or I'll talk to somebody, and then I'll just kind of go with it. So I choose to leave that space open to let things occur. That's not like, confined to a sheet of paper as the directions for the song. So that song, for example, like, that's all real. Like, I was freestyling because the beat cut off, and I was like, oh, this is funny, cut, nothing even rhymes, dual exhaust, but then after I recorded that, I was like, let me on mine, I'll edit it and then have the hook come back in. And I told him, I was like, yo, add a sound effect of a car or something just to make it sound official. Because it's like, I always love when people do that. Like, I remember I always talked to Scorsese. I was like, yo, you should always keep the mistakes. Like, you should always keep that shit in there, because it reinforces the humanity of making music. Like, everything's so quantized and perfect and thought out and cool. But, if you mispronounce words, or like you flub something, but the rest is crazy, then keep it. Like, listen to Beatles records. There's mad mistakes. Like, you can hear edits happening. You can hear things off. Like, that's the cool part, versus everything is just locked in place and it's like cast in stone. So I'm always into that shit. Like, and so I'm saying, like, Love Is Doom. Like, Love Is Doom was just me like fucking around. That's not even that's not even like a real take for me. That was like, I'll just put it down real quick and just see how it goes. So like, Look Over Your Shoulder was the same thing. It was like, I had it written and I didn't know the beat was gonna cut off. So I was like, just in the moment, just reacting to it, what I mean? Like, doing it, and then and then keep it in there. So for me, that's something I love to have in there. You like you remember like them Action Bronson joints on Blue Chips, where he would fuck up and keep going, and you would hear him laughing because they're just recording. So he would go back and he would fuck up a couple times. You know what I mean? It's like, but that's the shit everybody looks forward to, like hearing him all in the moment, just kind of go with it. You know what I mean? So that's I love that shit. That's like a favorite little thing for me. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Don't panic. On some don't panic. You say you don't fuck with hacky sack liberal college rap. What exactly is hacky sack liberal college rap?
I'm glad you asked. So it's hacky sack liberal college rap is like people that are masquerading as like real hip hop people. And I don't even like say the word hip hop more than like once a year. I'm not even that kind of guy. I'm like, where I just fucking worship KRS-One and all this shit. But it's very apparent when you're in this world, like this indie world we've been in for 15 years, 20 years. It's like, and even like the mainstream world and like the club world, like there's people that really love this shit and really are into it. Even if they're not that good, they have an affinity for it, and you could feel it and you could see it. You know what I mean? It's like, and then you have like the liberal college hacky sack motherfuckers, where it's like, this shit is just like a way for them to not be just some fucking yokel in the crowd. Like, they have like an English literature degree and they like words, but they don't know rap, like, and the rap they like is very narrow and sequestered to places where there's not like critical responses. You know what I mean? Like, I've fucking rapped in the hood of Baltimore when I was like a 21-year-old white dude in UFO pants, right? I'm out there. Like, I'm walking into a dangerous environment physically, and also like for your ego. Like, hood dudes in Baltimore looking at me pulling up was like not the fucking safest, smartest move. But I did it because that's where my manager at the time was. He had artists down there. I was like, fuck it, I'll go. But like a hacky sack liberal college rap dude is only staying on campus. They're only going to like the safe, artsy white parties where people smell like shit and have like retro fucking couches. You know what I mean? Like, that's cool, but that set of people that never leave those surroundings and they stick their chest out and shit, which is hilarious to me because like any show they play, everyone's got a fucking degree. You know what I mean? Like all their people, like they're not around people from different walks of life and backgrounds, and they don't really test shit. You know what I mean? Like I remember the first couple of times I went to New York and everyone just like this, their fucking arms folded, just staring at you while you rap. And I'm like, oh, I've been dealing with this in Philly for 10 years, where like, this ain't gonna break me. You know what I mean? Like I'm used to people just being like this, looking at you, staring at you and shit, not clapping. And then when you're done, you're like, yo, that was fucking cool what you said. I like that shit. Peace. And then they leave. You know what I mean? Like they're like a hacky sack liberal college rap person is like they're not risking shit. You know what I mean? Like everything is very friendly and like polite, and everyone's just really enthused that they're out there giving it the old liberal college try. You know, they're like, oh, that's lovely. You rap, oh, wonderful. Like they don't have anything beyond like a surface level. Like how do I use this degree to fucking stand out approach versus like me. I was like, yo, I just want to be fucking Ghostface. That's it. Like I want to be that guy, not a fucking TA and, you know, lesbian dance or some shit. Like that's not for me. You know what I mean? Like as a rapper, like I don't want to be that guy. Like, oh, I went to fucking Brown University. Like I got something to say. It's like, can you rap? Are you dope? Do you love this shit? No? Then move on. I don't care how many people like you. You know what I mean?
All right. Okay. Last question. Last question. Since it's not for hacky sack liberal college students, who was the Stacking Chips album made for?
Griff, take that.
Oh, definitely for people who like to listen to music in their car.
Yeah.
Obviously I lean towards the production side of things. But I think it's for people who, like Zilla was saying, I mean, just like listen to the whole spectrum of rap and aren't just, you know, I know there's a lot of hi-hats in there for your typical underground rap band, is what I'm saying, basically.
A lot of big bass and drums.
You know, this is for people who make a Spotify playlist of like every underground rapper's one trap song. You know, like that one trap joint that Rock Marcy did, you know,
like
or
the
whatever.
West Side
like,
joint. Yeah, the West Side.
Yeah, like that whole
trap
playlist,
song.
and like that's what they listen to at the gym.
One Conway joint, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like
that.
they got the West Side Gun Rick Ross joint in there, you know.
I love that song on the Drama album.
Yeah, and that's like their gym playlist and their driving playlist.
Fuck yeah.
Like that's who's gonna like it.
I agree. I think
I
it's
just
also
described
for that.
myself basically. So,
yeah, that's you. Yes, you are your own audience.
Yeah.
I feel like again, it's like you don't even need to be of a certain age just to fuck with it, because it's like if you fuck with Gangsta Grillz tapes and that Piff mixtapes and all that, I feel like it's a record for you. If you like Master Ace, you know what I mean, sitting on Chrome, all that shit, it's for you. It's like if you like West Coast rap, it's for you. If you like Cool Kids and Harry Fraud, it's for you. It's if you like my old shit, you like my current shit, it's for you. If you like Griff, so I think it's I think it's a very wide ranging, and I think I would be remiss to be like, oh, it's only for these people. No, it's like I feel like this, you could throw this on in a room full of whoever, and I think they would enjoy something, versus like, oh, it's only for people that, you know, like Annie Con. And I like Danny Con, but it's like it's only for that, and then also people that like, you know, the Beatnuts first 2 albums, and then it ain't that. You know, it's like it's for everybody.
All right. Zilla Rocca, Jason Griff, thank you for joining the realhiphop.com.
My man.
And thank you for having us.
That was
No
awesome.
doubt. Peace.
Peace out, boys.
Peace.
Y'all can't see me, I'm airborne.
Nah. Nespresso raps, caffeine fiends in the back. Get it going correctly. Shit, yeah. Sweating on my Peloton, you make telethon rap. Charity case complete with your fucking cash app. Just the art school motherfucker, never love rap. Never lose touch, never lose sight. The far right, I'm just the East Coast liquid crew member shooing some bar flies. Posh market vintage car, organized. Griff design all these beats for a long car ride. I used to read the far side, now it's non-fiction.